This man discovers a future-predicting diary, only to learn it's his entry ticket into a deadly survival contest. Each player, with their own special diary that predicts the future, has to beat the others in a game. The anime stars Yukiteru Amano, a shy and quit 14-year-old middle school student who prefers to observe events going on around him. He used to record his thoughts in a cell phone diary. In class, Hayami-sensei, the homeroom teacher, tells everyone to go home safely. Meanwhile, some boys are planning something and need one more person and ask Yuki. But he refuses and keeps typing on his phone. It wasn't always like this for him. In elementary school, people used to invite him to hang out. When he kept saying no, things changed. He was left alone to observe the crowd. When he had no one to talk to, writing down everything he saw in his diary became a hobby. But he had an imaginary friend named Deus Ex Machina, the god of time and space. Back in his room, Deus offers him a chance to play a game that will change his future. In the following scene, Yuki receives a message from Deus, but he believes it is his imagination. The scene shifts to show an anonymous person killing a girl in an instant. The next morning, Yuki found a strange note in his diary about a girl's death. He suspected he had written it while sleeping, but he saw the same news on TV. He was surprised to see the details match his diary entry. Yuki is scared and believes it's a coincidence. On his way to school, everything in the diary happened. He met classmates Kazaka and Shiraishi, took a test in second class, and even the police approached him, just as the diary stated. Terrified, Yuki questioned Deus about the diary. Deus claims that the diary predicts the future, but it has its own drawbacks. Deus tells Yuki that if the future diary breaks down, the owner will also die. Yuki previously thought Deus was just an imaginary friend, but he existed and lived in his mind. Yuki becomes the top student and avoids danger in life, believing he is winning. However, a twist is on the way. At the end of the day, he meets Gasai Yuno, the second diary holder. She has the love diary and can see 10 minutes into Yuki's future. Yuki eventually gets caught while running away. Yuki then discovers that others keep similar diaries too. Yuki is very confused and terrified of everything that is happening. Yuno warns him not to leave the elevator on the 14th floor and reveals the truth about the future diary's drawbacks. We learn that each diary owner is after the other's life and escaping from each other is impossible. Hence, the diary is both a weapon and a weakness, which depends on the owner. Yuno and Yuki plan to fight against the serial killer with a plan and manage an unusual victory. Yuki is scared and mad. Deus reveals a survival game where players use future diaries to see their futures. These futures change based on actions. Players' identities are secret, and they must eliminate each other. Yuki survived an earlier attack by chance, so Deus bets on Yuki. He declares the last player standing will be given his position of new god of time and space. The meeting adjourns, with everyone targeting Yuki, while Yuno promises to protect him. In the next scene, Yuki encounters Yuryu Mining, the 9th diary holder. We come to find that Hiyama Tekel, the homeroom teacher, was the 3rd diary holder. Yuno steps in a fierce battle to save Yuki from an attack. Mining, the attacker, detonates bombs throughout the school. Yuki, feeling powerless, teams up with Yuno. They learn that Yuki's diary predicts his future. As Mining's explosions threaten them, Yuno advises Yuki to keep track of the blasts and their effects. Despite their injuries, they respond quickly. But with everything happening around him, he feels disappointed for being an observer and standing in the safer zone. He expresses that he feared getting hurt and felt lonely. With this, Yuno cheers him up and gives him hope. On the other hand, the police force is active. Surprisingly, Captain Kurusu was one of the diary holders. Inside the building, Yuno and Yuki carefully make their way to the other side of the corridor, hoping to rejoin everyone in the class. But Mining had announced that Yuki was her target, so everyone attacked him. Yuno is disappointed with the situation inside the building because no one tried to help Yuki. She vows to protect him at any cost and begins running around the school. Then Kurusu, the 4th diary owner, orders the police to move. Kurusu says Mining wanted to kill Yuki because he had the investigation diary, which predicts various crimes. Kurusu was not interested in the god's position, but intended to not let crimes happen around him. While Mining demands the lives of the 1st and 4th diary holders, the situation has changed. Kurusu points his gun towards Yuki, and he regrets how his life has turned out to be. However, Yuno steps up and attacks Mining. Kurusu then commands Yuki to take his diary and kill the knife to prove his worth. Yuki then quickly runs towards Mining with the help of Yuno. Yuki quickly takes his dart out and attacks Mining in the eye. Just when everybody thinks she lost, a smokescreen comes out of nowhere, and Mining flees from the scene with a bike. At the end of the day, Kurusu warns Yuki to stay cautious and requests that they form an alliance to end the game. The next day, Yuki and Yuno find themselves at the Sakurami Police Department. Kurusu invites them to join a mission aimed at preventing casualties. Their first task is to identify the owners of the diaries, starting with Yuryu Mining, who holds the escape diary. Kurusu instructs Yuki and Yuno to enjoy themselves at the amusement park. Yuki, initially bored, now sees an opportunity to ask Yuno why she was following him. The scene shifts to Mining, who was injured during the previous battle. She is determined to win the survival game and begins running from the cops. Meanwhile, we spot another diary holder on the scene. At the amusement park, Yuki and Yuno try different rides and have fun. As the day ends on the Ferris wheel, Yuki asks Yuno why she was chasing him. Yuno reminds him of a middle school incident when Yuki promised to gaze at the stars with her and be her bride. Yuno then expresses her feelings to Yuki. On the way home, Yuki gets caught in the rain and Yuno invites him over. Meanwhile, Mining, fleeing from the police, meets a stranger who claims to be a hero. The stranger gives her a painkiller, but it paralyzes her. We learn that the stranger is another diary holder. Back at Yuno's place, Yuki roams around the house to find the bathroom and accidentally opens a mysterious door. After seeing what was inside the room, an unexpected event occurs. This dramatically impacts each diary holder's future. The scene shifts to Deus, who claims that when Yuki opened the door, miraculous events occurred twice. The game is now taking turns and becoming more engaging. Yuno chases after Yuki, who is scared and running home in the rain. Yuki wants to talk to the police in his room, but Yuno is keeping an eye on him. Kurusu arrives at Yuki's home the next morning to pick him up. He tries to confront what happened last night, but Yuno comes out of the car. She covers up, telling Yuki not to tell Kurusu because it is embarrassing. Kurusu tells the driver that Mining was apprehended by a religious group known as Omkata Kyo. They rush to the Omakata temples to confirm the news. Inside, they meet Tsubaki Kasugano, a girl with poor vision who cannot see far. People believe she possesses second sight. They soon learn that Tsubaki is the sixth diary holder, with the clairvoyance diary, which reveals the future of faraway places. Kurusu becomes more cautious after learning this, but Yuki is concerned about what has happened in recent days. Tsubaki goes on to say that she is a priestess who hears God's voices and does not want to become one. Tsubaki informs them that Yu Mining, the ninth diary holder, is imprisoned underground. She tells Kurusu to take Mining, but they must leave Yuki by her side. The situation becomes complicated. Tsubaki displays the dead-end flag, showing that she will be killed tonight. Kurusu and Yuno wait outside, while Tsubaki and Yuki talk inside the temple. She warns Yuki to be cautious around Yuno, because she may cause him harm. Yuno is frustrated when she learns that Tsubaki is bad-mouthing her. Following the scene, the diary holder's future changes and the temple catches fire. The environment becomes chaotic, and everyone begins attacking one another. Yuki tries to save Tsubaki, but Yuno warns him not to because it could be a trap. She adds that at this rate, Yuki may die and shows signs of worry. Yuki refuses to obey Yuno, claiming that she was insane. He recalls that if he had stayed at her place the other day, he might have been killed too. The chaos stops, and Tsubaki suspects someone is hypnotizing her follower. Underground, a stranger who took Mining warns her not to run. He notices the chaos above has stopped. Yuki tries to reach Kurusu, but he's not nearby. Yuki and Tsubaki team up to investigate. Using her diary, they discover suspicious people on the property. However, Tsubaki's future changes, revealing that these people are being manipulated by hypnosis. Meanwhile, an underground stranger's movements changes everyone's fate. Mining reveals that this stranger is the 12th diary holder, who is blind and can hear thousandfold more than other. Up above, Yuno tries to fight Tsubaki, but Yuki is worn a dead-end flag in his diary. Meanwhile, the 12th diary holder believes victory is theirs. But Minin says that Yuno can stop his pursuit of justice. Yuno realizes the corpses were hypnotized to appear dead. The battle intensifies. Yuki is in dilemma after Yuki asks him to either choose her and lives, or choose Tsubaki and die.